Goals are the compass that guide us towards success. Today we're going to discover how the SMART goal setting method can help you turn your dreams into achievable targets. What's up, everybody? Welcome back into another episode of Fast and Focus, where we push the boundaries of self-discipline and topics like it. I'm Zach Matthews, the head coach over here at Fast and Focus, and you are watching episode 5, the grand finale of our time management series, where we're learning how to get more done in less time. Over the past 4 episodes, we've uncovered many different unorthodox time management secrets, and in this episode, the final episode, we're going to be talking about SMART goal setting method, what it stands for, what it means, and how it can transform your aspirations into reality. SMART goals are awesome because they provide you with specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based objectives to clearly define your efforts so that you're not being like everybody else and kind of going willy-nilly with it. You have a clearly defined road towards the goals that you want to achieve. And there are many different benefits to doing it this way. First of all, it's going to give you clarity and focus that most people don't have. While everybody else is kind of guesstimating the next step they're going to take, you understand what the next step is, and it's going to help you stay on track. Second, you're going to have measurable progress. So again, while everybody else is kind of forgetting where they've come from or how they don't know how much longer they have to go, you've set out all these different measurable metrics that you can kind of check off as you go so that you know exactly where you are. And of course, there are things that we always don't, things that will come up that we don't plan for, but as long as you have some metrics, some checkpoints, as I like to call them, that gives you an advantage over everybody else that says they're trying to accomplish the same goal that you are. And then third, you're going to have increased motivation. So while everybody else is kind of going with the ups and downs, and as we've talked about before in the emotional cycle of change, when everybody gets to that valley of despair, which is something we all go through, they usually turn off and quit and go back to starting up another goal. Whereas since you have these measurable, objectives that you're going through, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based, you're not going to be bogged down by the results so much because you have this plan that you're going to. You can trust that as long as you stay on this path and knock out these steps that you've outlined, you're going to get to where you want to go. Capitalizing on SMART goals requires deliberate planning and execution. Now, fortunately for all of us, the most practical strategies for implementing the SMART goal method is spelled out in the acronym itself. So let's kind of dive into all 5 of these letters and kind of understand what they stand for. So first of all, you have S, which stands for specific. So specific requires you to get as detailed as possible into what you want to accomplish, why you want to accomplish it, how you're going to accomplish it, and who you're going to accomplish it with. When is also in there, but that's actually answered in the T, the time-based portion of it. We'll get to that in a second. M stands for measurable. So this is giving you specific criteria to measure your progress. So you'll know exactly how close you are to your goal or how far away. But even when you're further away from your goal, those measurable checkpoints, as I called them a few minutes earlier, those just give you a little more credibility and kind of give you reassurance that you're on the right path, which is essential during the valley of despair when we get down on the results that we may or may not be seeing. A stands for achievable. So you're basically just asking yourself there, is this goal achievable? Like, can it actually be accomplished in this particular part of life? For example, you may have a goal of selling a house one day. This is a simple example, but maybe one of your goals is to sell a house one day. You want to be a real estate agent or whatever, but you don't currently have your real estate license or certification or whatever it's called. Then you need to get that so that this SMART goal that you're setting for yourself is actually achievable. Until you do that, it is not achievable. You need to answer that question. It'll save you a lot of pain if you do. R stands for relevant. So you want to align this goal with the broader objectives you have in your life. So make sure that whatever lofty goal it is that you're setting for yourselves, does it align with the broader goals of your career? Or if it's a personal goal, does it align with your family and where you are in this stage of life as a father or as a mother or as a husband or a wife? Are they along for the ride? Those are all questions that need to be answered in the relevancy portion of the SMART goal setting method. And then last, you have T, that stands for time-based. So you're basically putting specific, concrete timestamps on the milestones that you're going to accomplish as you go through this journey. So that includes date and time, and that alone, ladies and gentlemen, will create the ultimate form of inner accountability, because you put a date and time on it. Therefore, there's really no beating around the bush or getting around it. If you set that date yourself, then you have to make sure that you stick to it. So that's the SMART goal setting method. That's what each letter stands for, and that's how they can help you specifically get down to the nitty-gritty of accomplishing the goals that you set out to. Now, as we've spelled out with every other time management principle we've talked about in this series so far, when you're using the SMART goal method and acting out on them, once you set them, there are definitely some obstacles that you can expect to try to overcome, and it's only part of the process. But knowing those things ahead of time can help us kind of get ahead of the curve. So what are those obstacles? Well, first and foremost, the overcomplication factor. We've discussed this in a couple different principles that we've listed out in this series. The temptation to overcomplicate things is real. We in this hustle and bustle society, we've kind of just, there are things that get stacked on our plate, or we do it to ourselves. And so I want you to avoid, overcomplicating things. Keep your path straightforward as possible. Don't complicate things because it leads to confusion. Secondly, stay flexible. So understanding that, yes, we're going to list out all these different milestones and checkpoints and dates and times and all that other stuff. But there are just things we cannot plan for, ladies and gentlemen. It happens to every one of us. That doesn't mean we shouldn't plan for it. That doesn't mean we shouldn't establish a plan in the first place. It just means that plan is going to have to be adjusted. So adapt your goals as needed without losing sight of the overall SMART goal layout that you set for yourself. And then third, constantly review your progress. This is what that measurable aspect of the SMART goal method is for. It's so that you can constantly review your progress, see where you are, see where you need to improve, or if you haven't, really progressed, then it's time to switch things up with that number 2 on there, stay flexible, and make sure that you're adapting as needed. But in order to do that, you need to regularly assess your progress so that you understand exactly where you are versus where you want to go. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. SMART goals are the bridge between your dreams and your reality or your future self. And by following this method, you're going to set a clear direction for your aspirations, where you need to go, and you're going to be able to track your progress along the way, which is something that most people don't have the capability to do because they didn't take the time ahead of time to plan out every single step as much as possible. And it's most importantly, you're going to stay motivated while other people get discouraged by the failures or the lack of results. You're going to understand that this is just one step of many that you've kind of lined out for yourself on the way to accomplishing that lofty goal and that journey of self-improvement. So I challenge you to use this SMART goal setting method right now. Get a pen, get a pencil, get a piece of paper, whatever you have in front of you, and write it out. If you don't have, either of those 3 things, then just pull out the Notes app on your phone and spell them out. SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. List the top, the lofty goal of yours up top, and then use every single letter to spell out the details of this goal that you're going to go after. And I promise you, it's going to make a difference right from the get-go. Okay, and if you're already on that journey of that goal, then still do this, still spell this out, because it's never too late to start planning for this. And this is going to actually help you see better results. I promise you that. You're going to have more confidence and more motivation to stick with it when you get to that valley of despair. And that valley of despair will actually be not as steep as if you didn't plan for this ahead of time. So implement this right away. Use the Notes app. Write it down with a pen or pencil, preferably. But whatever you can get your hands on right now to plan this and make it stick. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Fast and Focus and for joining us on this journey through the time management series the last 5 weeks. If you found this episode or the series in general to be helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so that you can be notified as soon as a new episode drops and stay motivated on your path to self-improvement. Now remember, SMART goals are the compass that guides us to our dreams and turn those into reality. So keep pushing, stay resilient, and focus on the journey ahead.